Hi, I'm back for another Astro Aspect, and this is one about Tamar Braxton. And yeah, let's get into it. And this is just for test purposes only. You can leave it up to your own interpretation. Each astrologer has their own interpretation of things that they may see or may not see, and so I always say that. But let's get into it now. Tamar, I have to say this: when you were on Big Brother and you were talking to Ricky Williams, who is a professional astrologer, he was really telling you some stuff that was on point. But I know because of your religious upbringing, you know, and especially religious upbringing as an African American woman in the church, it's really hard to hear different type of information that's not sourced from the Bible or sourced from um, that seems to be new agey or pseudoscience. But I will say this: it's also good to broaden your perspective, especially because you have ninth house in Virgo. So it's an empty house, but I just want to say that Ricky was really trying to give you some gems at the time to better understand yourself and how you can effectively deal with the entertainment industry. So that's my sidebar right there. Now, let's go into her chart. She is a Pisces sun sign, born March 17th, 1977. Now, they have the time here, which could be accurate, could not be, but from based on what they have, it shows she's a Sagittarius ascendant, and I think Ricky did say that on there that she is a Sagittarius ascendant. And it's interesting because I'm also a Sagittarius ascendant, first house, 12th house, like she is in her chart, a first house, 12th house, according to Placidus house system. If you want to know more about house systems, there's a lot of videos, plenty of videos on YouTube that will break down, and even online that will break down different house systems. And you could use different house systems for different things. But with that being said, she has Jupiter as her ruling planet. And because of that, she will always have Jupiter is about rewards and blessings. And let me see. And it's not retrograde. And her Jupiter is in Taurus, though. And with her Jupiter being in Taurus, actually, that's pretty good. So she benefited from being in the music business, her sister being Toni Braxton, them being before Toni Braxton, the Braxton sisters, Jupiter, Taurus, the voice. This is why she's a really good singer, great singer, because Taurus is about throat. It represents the throat. Taurus represents music and singing, and she does that very well. So that Jupiter brings a reward in that, and it's not how can I put it? It's not in a negative aspect, which they will call detriment. So she has also Neptune in her first house, which is it? What's her Neptune in? It's probably in Sagittarius. Yeah, Sagittarius. So she's still part of that Neptune and Sag generation, which I talked about in my other video as well. And she is totally, I don't see her as a Pisces at all. I see her as a Sag, because a lot of times we are our ascendant. And if our ascendant is more stronger than our sun sign, we will tend to be, our personality will show more in the ascendant. So when people see me, they're like, oh, you're a Leo? I didn't think you were a Leo. But if I tell them, oh, yeah, I'm a Sag rising, they'll be like, oh, yeah. And Sag's risings are very funny. They're jovial. And they will also speak their mind. Sometimes they have to they should think about what they say before they speak it, because it could come off as blunt, could be coming off as rude to others, but it's not necessarily rude. It's just Sagittarius call it like they see it, and a Sagittarius rising will do the same. So excuse me, y'all. She has her transit planets, which you can see right here, which is Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, are transiting through her second house. This is so interesting because she's hitting a bump right now. And they're, because I explained before, they are retrograde. And there are delays, lessons, and that's all I can think about at this moment with that. And explains why she's having issues right now with the reality show that she was trying to do, and the issues she was having as far as not feeling like she's being properly heard, because Pluto is transit out of her first house into her second house, as you can see. So with Jupiter, excuse me, y'all, my voice, with Jupiter and Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn, and these planets are transiting her second house, going into her third house here. Well, not even, no, they're still in her second. They're telling at the end. Part of her chart is second, early second, and then Aquarius. So she's feeling it right now, and that explains it. There's delays, career delays. It's like you gotta work extra hard just to get a little something. And this could be a hard transit to have, especially when you're ambitious and you're trying to make things happen. So I'm sending out good vibes to her, prayers as well, because with her having Pisces sun, and let's see where that sun is at. Her Pisces sun is in her third house, communication, which is with Mercury. Oh my gosh. So yeah. And then Neptune is transiting through that third house. That Neptune's in retrograde. So what this looks like here as hard work, setbacks, no rewards, lessons, and Pluto even including death and transformation. The end of her, she feels like her career is dead, you know. Neptune's giving that retrograde's giving that illusion, like, hey, maybe it is, you know. And it just went into retrograde, so she's feeling it. A lot of people are feeling it this week, and that's with that Mars conjunction with Chiron. And Chiron, depending on where her Chiron is at, let's see, it's in Aries. She's in her Aries Chiron return, because Chiron is in Aries, and it's retrograding right now. It's in 9 degrees, but that's early. And she's feeling the pain. She's recalling stuff. She's really upset. They don't put Chiron on the chart here, but they put it in the graph. so I could see it. And it's just interesting because her Chiron return, I mean, it's serious. It's it's gonna make you recall pain. I wish I knew where her Chiron, what house it was in. It doesn't show me on here. But let me see if I could compare the chart. It conjuncts her Venus. Her Venus is in Aries in the fourth house. Okay. That explains the family stuff. Oh, and it's retrograde. Yeah. Definitely explains it. Her appearance explains why she looks different from like her sister. She's taller, or the tallest. She's lighter. Like just that whole thing. Okay. And she has actually in her birth chart a lot of retrograde planets. So she has Venus, she has Saturn. So she has a Saturn retrograde, Uranus retrograde, a Pluto retrograde in her natal chart.